Feel that for a moment. Do not name it anxiety. Do not call it stress. It is the other thing. The heat that begins not in the mind, but deep in the body, behind the solar plexus. A low, consistent warmth that has been building for weeks. It is the pressure behind the ribs, as if your lungs want to expand beyond their capacity, to take in a breath of some different, wilder air. It is the restless sleep, the dreams of vast open fields and ancient crumbling architecture. You have been feeling the tide pulling out, exposing a shoreline inside of you that you did not know existed, littered with things both beautiful and broken. This is not random. This is not a pathology. This is the signal flare. This is the physical evidence that a cosmic gear has begun to turn, and your body, your sensitive, intelligent body, felt it long before your conscious mind was given the language for it. What you are feeling is the prelude to one of the most significant astrological reckonings of your lifetime. Within the next 72 hours, Venus, the planet of what we love, what we value, and how we connect, will stand in the full glare of Jupiter, the planet of expansion, truth, and cosmic law. This is not a gentle meeting. This is not a negotiation. It is a moment of absolute, undiluted revelation. It is an opposition. A great mirror held up in the heavens, forcing one to look at the other without filter, without excuse. And the question it asks is devastatingly simple. Is the thing you love, the thing you have built your life around, the value you have held as your compass? Is it true? Is it big enough to hold the person you are becoming? Or has it become a beautiful gilded cage? Jupiter's light is relentless. It exposes every crack in the foundation, every place where love has been confused with obligation, where value has been mistaken for price, where connection has become a comfortable habit rather than a living current. And this light does not ask for your permission. It is already flooding the chamber of your heart. Stay with me. I'm going to walk you through what this means, why your body is the first to know, and what you must do before this gate closes. Because what is revealed in this light cannot be unseen, and what is decided now will set the course for the next decade of your life. This is not an exaggeration. This is the law of the cosmos, playing out in the theater of your own bones. To understand what is happening, I want you to imagine that your heart, your entire emotional life, is a vast, quiet wine cellar. It has been built over years, stone by stone, experience by experience. Down in the cool, silent dark, there are bottles from every season of your life. There are the young, vibrant vintages of new love, still sharp and full of promise. There are the aged, complex bottles from long relationships, layered with notes of forgiveness, shared history, and quiet understanding. There are bottles you received as gifts, relationships and values inherited from your family, sitting on the rack, perhaps never even considered. And there are the ones you made yourself, from the grapes of your own joy, your own grief, your own deepest knowing. Venus is the grape. It is the sweetness, the potential, the very substance of love and connection. It is the color, the aroma, the promise held within the skin. It is the inherent value of the fruit, grown in the soil of your life, under the sun of your attention. Every bottle in your cellar began as this Venusian potential. Every relationship, every career, every belief system, every friendship, every definition of yourself began as a cluster of sweet, hopeful grapes. Jupiter is the inexorable process of fermentation. It is the wild yeast in the air. It is the pressure that builds inside the barrel, the alchemical force that transforms sugar into spirit. Jupiter is expansion. It is truth. It is the force that insists everything become more of itself. It takes the sweet, simple grape and demands it undergo a process of profound, often violent transformation to reveal its true essence. Jupiter is the great amplifier. Under its influence, what is good becomes magnificent. What is sweet becomes transcendent wine. But what is flawed, what was picked too early, what was sealed with a hairline crack in the container, what was contaminated with bitterness or denial, that too will be amplified. Under pressure, it will not become wine. It will become vinegar. For years you have been tending this cellar. You walk the rows, you dust the bottles, you trust in the process of time. But now, in this powerful opposition, Jupiter has descended into your cellar. It is not here to browse, it is here to conduct an audit. It is walking down the aisles with a divine light, and it is tapping on every single barrel, on every single bottle. And it is asking the one question that Jupiter always asks. What have you become in the dark? The pressure you feel in your body is the sound of corks beginning to strain. The heat is the reactivated fermentation. Jupiter is forcing the truth of what each vessel contains to the surface. It is saying, the time for aging is over. The time for tasting is now. And you must be brave enough to taste what is there, not what you hoped would be there. You must be willing to distinguish the wine from the vinegar, because in this light, there is no hiding the difference. One will nourish the next chapter of your life. The other will burn. This is not a new story. This is one of the oldest dramas in the heavens, and our ancestors watched it with a mixture of terror and reverence. To the Babylonians, who charted these movements from their ziggurats with painstaking precision, an opposition between Ishtar, their Venus, and Marduk, their Jupiter, was a moment of national reckoning. Ishtar was the goddess of the city's gates, of love, of the marketplace, of the sacred contract between people. Marduk was the king of the gods, the enforcer of cosmic order, the one who saw the grand design. When they stood opposite each other in the sky, it was believed that the integrity of the kingdom itself was being tested. Every contract, every marriage, every treaty was put under a divine stress test. Was it built on truth? Was it expansive enough to serve the future of the kingdom? Or was it a limitation, a pretty lie that was now holding the empire back? Scribes would be sent to the temples to record the omens, not with fear, but with a profound sense of clarity. It was a time to reinforce what was true and to courageously dismantle what was false. In the Hellenistic world, this was the tension between Aphrodite and Zeus. Aphrodite, born of the sea foam, represents a love that is personal, magnetic, embodied, a force of nature that draws two beings together. It is the beauty of a single, perfect form. Zeus, enthroned on Olympus, represents a power that is universal, organizing, and often impersonal. He is the sky, the law, the grand principle. When they faced each other, it was a clash of paradigms. Does your personal love, Aphrodite, align with your higher purpose and truth, Zeus? Or are you clinging to a beautiful connection that violates your own deepest laws, that keeps you small and hidden from your own sky? The Greeks understood that sometimes the most beautiful love can be the thing that prevents you from your own greatness. And this opposition was the moment the universe forced you to choose. The Vedic seers of ancient India saw this relationship through a different lens, but the essence remains. They saw Shukra, Venus, as the guru of the asuras, the teacher of material pleasure, beauty, and the profound wisdom found in the world of form. And they saw Brihaspati, Jupiter, as the guru of the devas, the teacher of divine law, wisdom, and expansion into the formless. When they stand in opposition, it is a test for the student, which is you. The great teacher of spirit, Jupiter, is asking the great teacher of form, Venus, has this student learned the lesson of this attachment? Have they found the divine within the beautiful form, or have they become lost in the form itself? It is a cosmic final exam. Are you ready to graduate from a certain level of love, a certain definition of value? Jupiter is here to find out. And it does so not by sending you a thought or an idea, but by sending a current through your body. The body is the scroll on which the cosmos writes its living messages. The mind can deny, the ego can bargain, but the body cannot lie. So let us return to the body. Let us map the heavens onto your own skin, your own organs, your own bones. Where in your body do you hold your Venus?
She lives in the throat, in the voice that speaks your values, that says, "I love you," that sings with pleasure. She lives in the soft skin of the inner arms, the curve of the waist, the places that crave gentle touch. She lives profoundly in the hips, the cradle of creation, of intimacy, of deep, stored emotion and connection. The tightness some of you have been feeling in your hips for months, that stubborn ache that no amount of stretching can seem to release, that is Venus, holding on to a definition of relationship, a pattern of connection that has reached its expiration date. She is bracing for the impact of Jupiter's truth. And where is Jupiter in your body? He is the great expansive diaphragm, the muscle that pulls down to allow your lungs to fill, to take in more life, more spirit. He is the liver, the largest internal organ, the alchemist, tirelessly filtering truth from poison, processing every experience, every emotion. That heat you've been feeling behind your ribs, that is your liver, working in overdrive under Jupiter's command, processing a backlog of unprocessed truths, of tiny self-betrayals, of moments you knew something was off but chose to ignore it. Jupiter is also in the powerful muscles of the thighs, the ones that propel you forward, that carry you onto new paths, into bigger territories. The restlessness in your legs, the urge to walk, to run, to move, that is Jupiter, impatient to get going, to move you out of a place that has become too small. The opposition, then, is this. The throat, Venus, feels a lump, a truth it is afraid to speak, while the diaphragm, Jupiter, presses up, demanding a fuller breath, a bigger voice. The hips, Venus, lock down in loyalty to an old connection, while the thighs, Jupiter, ache to walk away. The skin, Venus, craves the comfort of a familiar touch, while the liver, Jupiter, burns with the knowledge that this comfort has become a toxin. This is not a war. It is a holy tension. It is your body's attempt to integrate two fundamental divine principles, love and truth. And the signs of the zodiac will experience this integration, this reckoning, in profoundly different ways. Some will find that their long, patient fermentation has yielded an exquisite wine, and some will discover, with a painful, burning clarity, that they have been tending a barrel of vinegar. Let us speak first of those who will experience this as a profound victory. Those for whom the pressure is not a threat, but a promise. The ones who will taste the wine. And when I say win, I do not mean they will get everything they want. I mean they will align with everything that is true. The win is authenticity. It is the relief of finally living in accordance with one's own soul. The earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, will feel this as a vindication. For you, the cellar is your natural home. You understand time, patience, and the slow, deliberate craft of building something real. Your Venus is grounded, practical, embodied. You don't fall for pretty words. You believe in what you can touch, what you can build, what endures. For years, you have been tending to a particular barrel. For Taurus, it is a relationship or a standard of self-worth that you have refused to compromise.
For Virgo, it is a daily practice of service, or a meticulous skill that others deemed insignificant. For Capricorn, it is a long-term ambition, a structure you have been building in the dark, stone by patient stone, while the world demanded faster results. You have endured ridicule. You have been called slow, stubborn, boring, rigid. You have watched others chase fleeting passions while you remained loyal to your process. And now, Jupiter's light floods your cellar, and the very barrel everyone ignored is the one that glows with a divine light. The pressure pops the cork, and the aroma that fills the air is the undeniable scent of mastery, of integrity, of a love that is real because it was built to last. Your win is not a sudden lightning strike. It is the deep, resonant satisfaction of a harvest come in. It is the moment you finally get to taste the wine you have been aging for a decade. The command for you is simple. Open the bottle. Share it. Do not save it for a special occasion. This alignment is the special occasion. Your patience has forged something magnificent. It is time to let it nourish you. The water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, will experience this victory not as a harvest, but as a holy dissolution. Your Venus is fluid, psychic, and deeply connected to the unseen currents of emotion. You understand that love is not a static object, but a living, changing medium. You are not the winemaker. You are the wine itself. Your cellar is not underground. It is the vast, oceanic depth of your own feeling.
For years, you have been held in a particular container, a relationship dynamic, a family role, a creative identity, that, while once comforting, has begun to feel like a glass bottle holding back the sea.
For Cancer, this is the family story, or the definition of home that no longer feels nurturing. For Scorpio, it is a soul-deep bond that has become defined by control and secrecy rather than true transformative intimacy. For Pisces, it is a dream or a spiritual belief that has become a form of escapism rather than a path to embodied divinity. You have felt the pressure building, the glass beginning to crack. You have been afraid that if the container breaks, you will spill out, disappear, be lost. But Jupiter's opposition is not here to shatter you. It is here to liberate you. The win for you is the ecstatic moment you realize that you are not the liquid in the bottle. You are the entire ocean. The pressure does not break you. It dissolves the container.
And what feels like a terrifying loss of identity for a moment is followed by an oceanic expansion of self. You merge with a larger current. Your love is no longer confined to one person, one role, one dream. It becomes universal. Your victory is the courage to let the bottle break, to trust the tide, and to realize that your true home is the infinite, boundless sea of your own heart. Your task is to allow the dissolution. Stop trying to patch the cracks in the glass. Let it go. You will not be lost. You will be found. Now, we must speak of the others. We must speak of those for whom this transit will feel like a burning. It is essential you understand this. To be burned is not to fail. It is not a punishment. It is a purification. It is the searing, painful, but ultimately merciful act of burning away a profound untruth. The burn is a grace. It is the fire that clears the field so that something new and authentic can finally grow. The fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, will feel this burn most acutely in their pride. Your Venus is passionate, creative, and expressive. You love with your whole being, and you want your love to be a grand, inspiring spectacle, a bonfire that all the world can see. Your nature is to act, to ignite, to move quickly.
In the wine cellar of the heart, you are the ones who tried to speed up the fermentation. You added heat. You demanded results. You wanted the glorious, intoxicating wine now, and you did not have the patience for the slow, quiet, unseen work in the dark. For Aries, this is the relationship or project you charged into, fueled by the thrill of the chase, only to realize the foundation was never properly built. For Leo, it is the grand romance or creative identity that required constant applause and adoration, which you now realize is hollow without genuine, quiet intimacy. For Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter itself, this is the most personal reckoning.
You have been expanding, seeking, preaching a philosophy of freedom and truth. But this opposition forces you to ask, have you been living it in your most intimate relationships? Or has your quest for freedom been a way to avoid the messy, humbling work of true connection? The burn for you is the taste of vinegar. It is the devastatingly public realization that your magnificent bonfire is fueled by green wood, producing more smoke than heat. It is the moment the wine you've been boasting about is uncorked and revealed to be sour. The pressure of Jupiter's truth exposes where your passion was not supported by substance, where your confidence was a mask for insecurity, where your performance of love was a substitute for the real thing. The humbling is immense, but it is your salvation. The burn is teaching you the difference between a flash fire and a sustainable hearth. Your task is to sit with the ashes. Do not run to the next spark. Let the ground cool. The lesson here is the wisdom of the earth, the power of slow growth. Your fire is a gift. This transit is simply teaching you how to build a fire that can last the winter. The air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, will feel the burn not in their pride, but in their principles. Your Venus is conceptual, social, and idealistic. You love the idea of love, the theory of connection, the beauty of a perfectly balanced equation. In the cellar, you are the master vintner who has read every book, who understands the chemistry perfectly, who has the most beautiful, sterile, and technologically advanced equipment. You have created what should be, in theory, the perfect wine. For Gemini, this is the relationship where the witty banter and constant communication masked a lack of genuine emotional depth. For Libra, ruled by Venus, this is the most direct confrontation. You have worked so hard to create a relationship or a life that is beautiful, fair, and harmonious. But now you are being forced to see the places where you compromised your own truth to avoid conflict, where you chose peace over honesty. For Aquarius, this is the community, the social cause, or the high-minded ideal that you poured your heart into, only to discover that the human reality is far messier and more complicated than the utopian vision. The burn for you is the chilling realization that your perfect wine is sterile. It is technically flawless, but has no soul. It has no terroir, no sense of place, no life. In your quest for the perfect idea of connection, you sealed the barrel too tightly, preventing the wild, unpredictable, messy yeasts of real human emotion from entering. You kept it all in your head. Jupiter's truth is now forcing you out of the laboratory and into the vineyard. It is cracking the seal on your beautiful theories and exposing them to the raw, chaotic, and heartbreakingly beautiful mess of reality. The taste is not sour vinegar like for the fire signs. It is worse. It is the taste of nothing, a hollow perfection. Your burn is the disenchantment with the ideal, and it is the most important thing that could ever happen to you. It is the invitation to get your hands dirty, to feel something that cannot be rationalized, to choose a messy, embodied truth over a clean, elegant lie. Your task is to leave the sterile lab and go sit in the dirt. Feel the heat of the sun, the mess of the grape. Your heart is not a concept. It is a muscle. It is time to use it. Now.
Let us bring this out of the celestial and into this room, into this moment, into your breath. You know which you are. As I was speaking, you felt a resonance, a sick feeling of recognition, or a quiet hum of confirmation.
There is a specific bottle in your cellar that your mind has been circling. The one in the back, behind the others, perhaps with a faded label. The one you are afraid to touch. The relationship, the career, the secret you keep from yourself. The quiet, persistent voice that whispers, "This is not it." A voice you have been drowning out with noise, with work, with the comfort of denial. Jupiter's light is now falling directly on that bottle, and the pressure is building. You can feel it in your throat, in your gut, in your hands. You have a choice. You can brace yourself, try to hold the cork in place, pretend the shaking is just a passing tremor. You can do that, and the pressure will continue to build until the bottle shatters, spraying glass and soured wine all over your carefully organized life. Or you can, within these next 72 hours, walk to that bottle, wipe the dust from its shoulders, and with a steady hand open it. This is not about destruction. This is about revelation. You are not being asked to end something. You are being asked to be honest about what it has already become. There is a profound difference. One is an act of aggression. The other is an act of sacred truth-telling. The fear you are feeling is not a fear of the truth. You already know the truth. The fear is of the grief that you know is waiting on the other side of the truth. The grief for the dream that didn't come true. The grief for the years spent tending something that could not nourish you. The grief for the person you were when you first sealed that bottle with so much hope. Jupiter is offering you a gift, wrapped in the terrifying paper of radical honesty. It is offering you freedom. Freedom from the exhausting, soul-crushing work of pretending. Freedom from the low-grade poison of a life lived out of alignment. The burn is the price of that freedom. And I promise you, from the other side of that fire, it is a price worth paying. The wine is also a gift. It is the gift of knowing your own value, of drinking deeply from a life you have authentically cultivated. Its price was patience and faith. Both paths lead to truth. The only real failure is to refuse to walk either one. So, we will not leave this in the realm of the abstract. The cosmos demands our participation. I am going to give you a practice, a small ritual to perform over the next 3 days, to anchor this celestial energy into the physical world. This is how we honor the moment. This is how we become co-creators with the universe, not just passive spectators. On the first day, I want you to find 3 glasses. They should be clear, if possible. You are going to fill them with 3 different liquids, representing the 3 possible outcomes of this reckoning. The first glass you will fill with clean, pure water. This represents clarity, truth, the clean slate. The second glass you will fill with wine, or, if you do not drink, with a dark, rich juice like pomegranate or grape. This represents the wine, the nourishment, the sweetness of a love that has matured into something true and life-giving. The third glass you will fill with a small amount of vinegar. If you do not have it, use salt water. This represents the burn, the purification, the acknowledgement of what has soured and must be released. Place these 3 glasses on a windowsill, a table, or an altar space where they can be undisturbed. This is your celestial mirror. This is your cellar brought into the light. For the rest of the day, simply notice them. Do not try to decide anything. Just witness the 3 potentials existing at once. On the second day, the day of the exact opposition, you will sit before the 3 glasses.
you will need a pen and 3 small pieces of paper. On the first piece of paper, you will write down the area of your life that feels clear, that is a source of uncomplicated truth. It might be your connection to nature, your love for a pet, a simple daily practice. Fold it and place it before the glass of water. On the second piece of paper, write down the relationship or value that truly nourishes you, that you feel has become true wine. It could be a friendship, your creative work, a deep spiritual connection. Fold it and place it before the glass of wine or juice. Now take the third piece of paper. This is the moment of courage. You are going to write down the name of the thing, the bottle in the back of the cellar, the unnamed truth, the relationship, the job, the belief, the self-deception that you know this transit is targeting. Write it down. No one will see this but you and the cosmos. Fold it and place it before the glass of vinegar. Then you will speak to each glass, aloud. Your voice is the bridge between the spiritual and the material. To the glass of water, say, I honor the truth that is clear. To the glass of wine, say, I honor the love that nourishes. And to the glass of vinegar, with as much compassion for yourself as you can muster, say, I honor the lesson in what has become sour. I am no longer afraid to name you. Sit in the silence for as long as you need. This is the act of tasting. This is the moment of pure, unvarnished honesty. On the third day, the day the energy begins to integrate, you will complete the ritual. Take the glass of vinegar outside. If you cannot go outside, go to a sink. Pour the vinegar onto the earth or down the drain. As you pour it, you will say, I release this lesson with gratitude. It is no longer mine to carry. The debt is paid. Feel the release in your body. This is not an act of anger or rejection. It is an act of composting. You are returning a painful lesson to the earth, trusting it will be transformed into new soil. Then take the glass of water. You can either anoint your forehead with it or pour it into a plant. As you do, say, I accept clarity. I am ready to see what is real. Finally, take the glass of wine or juice. Hold it in your hands. Feel its weight. This is the nourishment you have earned, the love that is true, and you will drink it, slowly. As you drink, say, I receive the love that is real. I am worthy of this nourishment. I am home. You did not find this message by accident. You were not led here by an algorithm. You were led here by a deep, resonant knowing in your own soul. Something in you felt the pressure building and started searching for a language to describe the storm. Your presence here, your willingness to listen this far, is the evidence that you are ready. You are ready to open the bottle. You are ready to face the truth. You are not behind. You are not late. You have not made a mistake. Every step, every detour, every moment spent tending to what you now realize is vinegar was a necessary part of your curriculum. You were learning the subtle art of discernment. You had to know the false to recognize the true. The courage required is immense. To look at a life you have built and admit, this part is no longer true. To look at a person you have loved and admit, our story has reached its final chapter. To look at yourself in the mirror and admit, I have been pretending, and I cannot do it anymore. This is the work of heroes. And right now, in this sacred and potent window of time, the entire cosmos is holding its breath, waiting to witness your choice. It does not judge you. It only supports the movement toward greater truth. Whether that movement feels like a celebration or a wildfire, it is, in the end, a movement toward life. Your life, the one that is waiting for you on the other side of this beautiful, terrifying, and absolutely necessary reckoning. In the space below, I want you to make a declaration. It is a way of anchoring your choice, of making it real. You are not just writing a comment, you are casting a vote for your own future. And your courage will be a lantern for someone else who is scrolling through these words in the dark, feeling lost and alone. Your testimony matters. I want you to write one of three things, nothing more. If you are a fire or air sign, or if your story is one of purification, I want you to write, I release the vinegar. If you are an earth or water sign, or if your story is one of vindication and dissolution into truth, write, I receive the wine. If you are not yet sure, but you are committing to the path of honesty, write, I embrace the water. These words, this time we have shared, are the result of many hours spent in the quiet, listening to the story the planets are telling, so that the path for you could be made clear. If this has served you, subscribe and press the bell so that you do not miss the messages that are to come. For this is but one chapter in a much larger story that is unfolding. Know this, whatever you choose, you are held, you are seen, and you are far, far braver than you know. The choice is now. The gate does not stay open forever.